everybody's looking at each other to say, well, when it breaks, the market's going to go higher because it's going to bring in all of the FOMO. But it needs to break higher to bring in the FOMO.
That's right.
That reflexive thing needs to start. And every time it's got to the top of the range, it's come back down. And now whether that's because of some flow we don't know, FTX estate stuff or whatever it is that keeps slotting at the moment it gets to the top of the range. But I don't know if the crypto market itself has much dry powder. Everyone's all in and waiting.
Yeah.
The crypto market sentiment is again back in the green following Bitcoin's latest surprising run above $66,000, its highest peak since late July. According to data from CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin has gained about 4.46% in the past week, slightly overshadowed by Ethereum's 6% increase in the same period. The leading altcoin is currently trading at $2,583 after dropping from an intraday high of $2,650. Despite the rally, the crypto market remains on tenterhooks, and investors are hopeful for bigger price rallies before the year's end. So according to Real Vision founder and CEO Raoul, the setup for these upside rallies is complete, and especially with central banks worldwide expected to unleash massive stimulus packages and other quantitative easing measures on their respective economies. By all indications, this easing round may be far larger than originally presumed. Using the example of China, which has so far announced 2 distinct and large stimulus packages without making a significant impact, experts are certain that central banks are about to unleash some of the largest liquidity pumps on the global economy in 2025. Powell's window is between the next 12 to 18 months, and he strongly believes that the stimulatory activities of central banks will be generally bullish for the financial markets, but even more so for cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and others. Powell's bullish thesis for the cryptocurrency market and the overall global economy has remained consistent over the past year. But as we bring you clips from the discussion, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more content like this. Every interaction helps with the YouTube algorithm and contributes immensely to the channel's growth.
Okay, fine. Avalanche is not a chain that a lot of people use, but this game could be huge. That's a huge influx of people that we're not even looking at. And there's a bunch of the protocols who are building stuff like that. So it's like a mass market, abstracted away use of crypto that drives on-chain adoption, underlying value. So I think that that's the other thing. It's not the obvious, it will come into the Bitcoin ETF and then flow through the market. It could come from a number of different places we're not seeing. Don't forget, at the moment the business cycle picks up a bit faster, it's slow across Europe, it's slow in the US. The forward-looking indicators are showing it going up. I mean, that probably ignites meme coins and brings a whole bunch of normies into meme coin casino, because it's just gamification of attention and
Community.
internet memes. I mean, they get it. And if their mates we've seen it before in every cycle, whether it was ICOs, if your mate is making a 50x, you are damn well opening an account and going to start trading because you can't bet.
I mean, the other day, Murat Mammadov
That's
was
right.
actually making this pitch, and he said, like, retail is only attracted to meme coins because people actually made it. And that's the same as with NFTs and with ICOs, as you mentioned.
How people have got rich basically for very little investment, right?
Yeah, and because we were talking about this before, it's like the average millennial who's really the 20-somethings to 40-year-old cohort, you know, they can't afford to buy a house. They're behind in the economic cycle versus their parents. You know, they're starting to marry, have kids, all of this stuff, and they've got these stresses. And, you know, when you talk to them and say, you know, you should buy Bitcoin, they're like, I can only make 4x.
Yeah.
They're like, I need to make 10, 20, 50x. That will change the structure of markets, because then you can say, well, can I get the 20x out of Bitcoin options, or do I do it from buying memes?
That is a flow. That is a flow that we might be underestimating.
But speculation is rational when you understand people's economic pressures.
I think there are 2 things when it comes to liquidity too. I think one is we underestimate China. I think that a lot of liquidity is coming from Asia, where the expansion is happening, but China comes out of a rough period where currently it's pacing up again. And if you look at the data, usually if I wake up, I'm in Europe, you can see that the markets are going up. Europe is flat, and in the US, either goes up or down. It's just, lately it has been going down. So Asia is probably moving the markets.
Europe's just boring as always.
Well, and why is that? It is because we've got MiCA, which is a regulation for adoption and institutional adoption, but it kills innovation in a way that futures for me are not possible to be traded in the Netherlands anywhere outside of DEXs or some sketchy exchanges. Which means that if you want to attract liquidity, I think that if MiCA opens up and we get exchanges back with futures and stuff, that's gathering a lot more retail volume into the markets, and then you can start pushing the markets again.
But Europeans are not speculators. It's like really weird. I think of
The Dutch.
no, but generally speaking, they don't invest in equities anymore. The mindset is they're like call spread buyers and not call option buyers. So we don't see as much. I mean, if you go to the US, I mean, if I come here, I hear much less about crypto or stocks. Even amongst all of my friends, they kind of know, but they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to the US, I mean, everyone shows you their bloody stock portfolio in 10 minutes. Or in Asia. The other thing about meme coins that's just really interesting is Bitcoin now, there's such a heavy narrative. You go around it, you need to understand the history of money and, you know, blah, 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 right? And meme coins is, I like the meme, number go up. Right? That's so much easier and much less inhibiting to a 25-year-old than Michael said, 99% of these
go to zero
immediately.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's a trend. So now you're just capturing an attention trend. And look, don't judge them with your kind of financial market, well, they're all going to get blown up. They know what they're doing, which is
Gambling.
Attention is fleeting.
Gambling, yeah.
And I'm going to gamble how long that attention goes on for and how valuable it becomes, knowing that it's not going to be persistent. Yeah, sure, Doge and Shiba Inu have been persistent, but that's it. So they know the game.
Sure.
They're internet native. They know the game, which is like, when does that meme become boring? Then you need to get out.
And by the way, in the previous cycle, Dogecoin went to 100 billion.
I know.
So there's a lot of upside on most of them.
Yeah, people don't understand that.
Yeah, it's
the Dogecoin chart is a killer chart. The weekly chart of that.
Elon said it the other day, but Dogecoin might be a better currency than the US dollar. If you look at it from the specifications, then the Dogecoin might be better. It's not a shitcoin. I think the US dollar is a shitcoin. In my perspective.
The thing about Doge, though, it's got Elon's backing, right?
So, yeah, he went silent on it, though.
But, but I'm saying...
purposely.
Yeah, it's on Trump coin nowadays, so...
No, I think the reason being is that there's only a certain number of battles Elon can take at once. Yeah. And to say, I'm going to use a globalized currency, because right now, if you want to sell something to somebody in Nigeria on the internet, it's not easy, right? And they don't have access to dollars. So if you were to use Doge as the currency, because unlike Facebook Libra, he's not launching a currency, it exists. And then we could all use Doge as payments on Twitter, fine. The issue is that's a big fight with government when you've got a platform of 500 million people and you're going to introduce a currency onto it. So I just think he doesn't want to have that fight, but I still think it's going to happen.
Yeah. That's why he's chummy with Trump, right? Because if he's chummy enough with Trump and Trump gets in, then that would be an easier fight for him, right?
And I think he's being quite clever. He keeps putting out all the Department of Government Efficiency.
He knows what he's doing.
Keeps putting that out. Yeah.
Acronym Doge. Yeah, that is.
And if I just look at it, if I just go to the chart of Doge, the weekly chart of Doge is spike, massive wedge for a few years, spike, massive wedge and it's like this perfect thing. It's like it's a thing of beauty, that chart. So I'm long Doge and I'm long smoking chicken fish, which is my meme of choice. Watch till October in this sideways range, identical.
What was the date that it started rallying?
It was like this week or last week. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Every comparison I look at is like, come on, guys.
I was looking as well in 2020.
Similar period.
Its election, yeah, it was a similar thing.
It's very similar.
Yeah, and actually, I think it was like the end of October. We actually started to get a rally.
2016 as well.
Yeah.
There was you can look at the average mining cost at this point, and we're moving beneath the average mining cost, depending on where you're at in the world, of course. 2020 had the same period. We were just moving beneath the average mining cost in 2016 as well. So the bears are currently saying we need to go to 45K. But if we go there, the market is in serious trouble. Miners will fall out. Hash rate will probably need to go down. Otherwise, it's just too costly. So we need to go up. And in terms of comparison, it's just the same period. And whether or not it's going to be this week or next week or end
Next
of November,
month,
yeah, whatever.
I actually as well, everyone keeps talking to me about this 45k level.
You know, if the market rips, it creates huge FOMO because there's so many people, you know, the people I speak to, the family offices, the high net worths, the smaller institutions, the RIA networks, all of those capital flows are basically buyers from 75,000 onwards.
Yeah.
And 100,000 is blind panic.
Because that's their signal, right? Once the breakout happens, then we get in.
Because they're not traders, they just want confirmation that the thing is trending.
Yeah.
And they'll find the narrative will fit it. Price leads, narrative follows, and that will happen. So what happens is it kind of accelerates, which is why the banana zones tends to happen. It accelerates through those highs, and everything gets a little bit crazy because everyone has a total FOMO, and random friends of yours you knew from school 20 years ago start calling you up saying, well, I hear you into crypto. That's all to come.
Yeah.
Check out the link below if you buy and spend coins. Check Nexo Exchange, $35 in Bitcoin, just for sign in, and I'll see you in the next one.